Welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with I, Enchantress the Babbler, on our evolutionary, revolutionary rise of high that is happening here at this mother fudging time. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are just going to go in and see where this leads us and where we go because there's a lot of structure I feel like that wants to be sewed, right? Wants to be um, articulated in ways that are going to ground us better, um, restore us healthier, and things like that, right? So, like, you know, what's one of the greatest things about our human conditioning, right? If we want to look at things positively, right? Because conditioning can really mess us up and things like that, right? So it's like I serve creatively. I like that. I circulate. I like that. Ethos to death and rebirth, right? Um, but one of the greatest things about like our human condition, right, is our consciousness, right? Um that's when that's that's our existence, right? Like in a nutshell, right? This human vessel that we have, like um it's temporary, right? But beneath that, beneath us, right? Beneath whatever this skin, this bone, this blood, this perceived 3D reality beyond this matrix of perceived something, right? um Death and rebirth, right? In the tangible here in this earthly domain, right? Whatever this appears to be, whatever this is, right? um that which when we close our eyes and is beyond our our ability to conceive, because it's so like expansive, like what, right? There we go. That's what it is, right? It's not, right? So we spend so much time like awakening to the sense of self identity and I. Who am I, right? Whom am I? But what am I? What are we? Right? I think I'm gonna get emotional. I didn't know I was, but I didn't know I was. What the hell? So we're moving forward, right? Taking action, asking these big like um questions, right? That we should be asking ourselves. Hey, okay. Hold on. I gotta stop a brawl. Cause Shiva, it's okay. Okay, okay, hold on. Right. So I just think that like, you know, yeah, getting into our self identity and stuff like that is important, and it got me thinking, right, about just I serve creatively. This is about your expression, this death and rebirth in your own fifth house, eighth house type energies. You don't have to be into astrology, just understand it from its number perspective. This too, you could also be 58 years old, you could be born 1985, 1958, or you could be life path number 5, you could be life path number 8. You don't have to be. You could be life path number 4, life path 3, life path 1 as well, right? But there's like this sacredness to your whole entire existence, right? um and your whole entire creative existence, right? Serving creatively, you circulate this death and rebirth process, right? So chances are you are a leader, you are an inspiration, you are a motivator, you teach, you inspire, you handle things, you are independent, you are liberated in some kind of way, or you are doing all these kind of things, throat chakra activating, your own self-expression, making you fertile, like fertilization. You're fertilizing the planet with your constant deaths and rebirths, which is what's needed, right? Because We are evolutionary beings, right? But what are we? Right? So we get into the who am I, right? Um, whom am I? Whom who chicka chicka boom boom. Who am I? Right? Look at this is talking about Leo sun. Eighth house is that Scorpio energy. You could be a Leo, you could be a Scorpio, you could have sun, moon, rising, don't have to, whatever the case may be. You could be fertile, wanting to be fertile, pregnant, you could be a mother, a father, whether you're male or female here as well. Stuff like that. You could be exploring certain kind of things, but either way, I don't want to lose sight because I have limited time. Okay. So so I'm gonna try to limit my babbling, even though I'm enchantress the babbler. So good luck with that. Either way, we always continue watch all my videos and stuff like that, and stuff to whatever. But either way, okay. So um so so it got me thinking, right, about the last video that I made. So definitely watch all my videos, even if they're long, watch them, even if it's in parts while you're driving and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. This is news inscriptions, right? And you're going to transcribe them in your own galactic quantum way. That's going to be beneficial to you in every single kind of way. What can I say? It's bred and set seeds these way. It's seedlings this way. So like what the fudge? But anyway, oh my goodness, I'll be like, I can't even speak English. Right. So what are we? Right. But where was I going with that? Oh, so right. So the story of Rumpelstiltskin, Stiltskin, right? So definitely watch one of my last. Oh, I don't know. I know I have videos in between and all this kind of stuff, but either way, the one with Stiltskin is in the title. But right, it got me to thinking, right, about that after the recording, after listening back to it a little bit. I don't think I finished listening to it back fully, but in the gist of it, right, we are reminded by this older generational story, right? This conditioning, right? But this is the dopeness about our consciousness, right? We're reminded about this older belief system, right? That our name, right? And our identity are intertwined. So like if you look up the meaning of the names of what your name means, the name that your birth name, what was given to you and all this kind of stuff. And then this is why too, like when you have people that are spiritually inclined, and whether they have initiations or different religions, whatever the case may be, sometimes a name comes upon to thee or is again given to thee, a baptismal name, not a baptism, a confirmation name. Like, like this, we have religions, we have structures where another name is given and all this kind of stuff, right? But either way, it's like this traditional, right, in the world, right? This traditional, oh, I'm looking in the wrong direction. We could be looking in the wrong direction. Right? Right? In search of this, to living up to our name or this identity or this conditioned reality, right? Of certain kind of things, right? But then if we look into the meaning, if we go into the deeper meanings of our names, sometimes it's surprising how accurate certain kind of things can be, right? In certain kind of degrees, right? Because either way, but our name and our identity in this world, right? Um, the belief that our name and our identity, right, are intertwined, and this dependence, right, means we can choose, right, because of this interdependence, right? Here we go. Because of this interdependence, right, we can, and we want to look at it from a healthy, wealthy, stealthy perspective about certain kind of things of what we choose to dabble and dive into and all this kind of stuff, right? Hold on, baby. Right, because of this interdependence means we can choose whom we share our personal information with, who we share, whom we are with, right? Hold on one second, I got the right. So Right. And I just think that's important because when we think about the story of the Rumpelstiltskin, right? When we yeah, she was in there. When we think about the story of Rumpelstiltskin, right? This is why we had to introduce her early on because this is what she does. Boop. Just, this is welcome. This is paradise Eden. Okay. So, all right. So, right, our identities intertwined with this conditioning, right? From watch my computer thingy. I'm gonna kick you out. Okay. Okay. Right? Okay, child. Things are gonna get kiddier. Right. So anyway, um, so the importance of this, right? So Rumpelstiltskin thought he was going to be able to be this like trickster type energy because his identity was hidden from the world, right? She's a queen of this world, right? So what does she know of otherworldly things, right? So the last that he was expecting was that she was going to search, that she was going to um um make an effort, to inquire, to dive deep, right? But this is the beauty of, I see where this is going, right? Of a lot of things, right? Because right, so who right. It's just a lot. It's a lot of information, right? Um now she wanna pick my butt. You better cut the shit. Like, which? Okay, we're gonna figure this out. Okay. And the devil, right? So the ways of this world, the things that tie us to the things of this world, right? Five of swords that can be deceptive and that can keep us distracted, right? We're not gonna do this right now. So so right, so what are we and the things that we tap into, right? And these energy streams of stuff, right? So even with the thing with Rumpelstiltskin, right? This energy of self identity, this self preservation, right? This um this intertwining, right? Rumpelstiltskin thought he was going to be able to um keep his name a secret because no one knew, but he didn't think that she was going to go out and search to find, right? So it's kind of like the age old rhyme, right? Knocking the door shall open, asking ye shall receive, right? So knocking the door shall open, asking ye shall receive, right? And he challenged her, and because, right, that's the most important thing, right? Her tenacity was driven by love. Hold on. Oh my god. Right? So because she was driven by love, right? And not by desire for power, she prevailed. So understand that, right? So it may not seem like that in this world, right? It might seem like the devil's leading this world, but they say, right, too, if you go into scripture and all this kind of stuff, the devil rules earth, right? So what is it that you didn't know to begin with? That when you come onto the earth's domain, like this power play matrix, this whatever this 3D perceived reality is, right? Whatever this is the devil's domain. So why is everybody acting like they didn't fucking know that from Jump Street, right? So it's just like, okay, right? So it's just like, okay, so here in this world, right? So and then, because think about how the ego is driven, how when one is driven by the desire for power, for that, right? You know, he had to trick her into even agreeing to having to fork over something without her knowledge, because sometimes people can see a little bit further into the other bubbles of dimensions that exist, right? Because they're looking. You might be naive and you might not be looking. You might not be like, oh, I'm not looking into this person's future, this person's future, this person's future, because I don't give a fuck, right? You're in your lane, you're in your own way, like, you know. But you got people that when you lack creativity, when you lack momentum, when you lack, like, you know, drive, creativity, and that lust for creativity, or that natural stream and all this kind of stuff, you have to but you have this drive for success, this ambition for recognition, you have all this other kind of stuff, then you find other ways to navigate into the to in the devil's domain. And sometimes that can come from, like, what people will say, oh, people steal people's ideas, or they do this or that, or they get really good at other industries. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a creative industry. This will be like, you know, people will be doing some other shit, like, you know, that doesn't have to do with arts or entertainment, or any kind of service and all this kind of shit, or whatever, a different type of thing, like, you know, whatever the case may be. People go out into the world like the fool, like, that we don't know, like, you know, all this kind of stuff, right? So um but the whole thing, right, that we're learning and stuff like that, is this development of whom we are. But now it's like the infusion of whom we are with what we are, and we have to navigate that system, right? Because now in your learning to choose who you share yourself with, right? Wiser, right? When you know better, you do better, and all this kind of stuff, right? Now you might be more discerning about who you share your information with, right? What business you put out there, right? Keeping things quiet, private, cute, right? um because you're learning the art of discernment, and but you're serving your creative truth too, right? Um so like learning discernment for what can be trusted at this time, right, is happening at the same time as now, if we can understand what are we, so that navigation can be a lot more um less resistant, less less resistance, more fluid, less resistance, more fluid, right? Right. So I like seeing that too, right? Like the levelings that we develop in our own um development, our in right consciousness. What is consciousness, right? Consciousness is awareness, right? And our ability to be aware, right? Consciousness is awareness itself, right? So just think about that. Consciousness is awareness, right? Consciousness is awareness, right? um right, going into our truth, right? About stepping into, right? So some of these could be not with your life partner yet, right? Because the reason I say that is because I see the 10 of Pentacles here and then the 9 of Pentacles, right? Some of you can be with your life partner here, but maybe not married as of yet, or just not the traditional way of whatever. But either way, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know why I'm even saying that, right? But like, there's layers. Okay, so anyways, I don't want to get into the elements of the cards. I want to get more into the elements of the message. Because then this just gets, it's like becomes like the petty oracle, like, you know, or like, I don't mean to say it like that, but like it doesn't become like worldly, and I want this to be um evolutionary, right? But we're gonna tap it to it with the worldly perspective, because we need to, right? Because we're a human species, right? I'm trying to be as generic as it can be, right? So Freud um had consciousness, right, separated into like three layers, three categories, right? Three layers, three categories, like alert consciousness, right? right? Alert consciousness, right? Subconscious and unconsciousness, right? Right. But if we want to look at it, everything in a subdivision category, right? Where's the fluidity, right? That's how I think of it. Like where's the fluidity in that, right? So like because there is no division. I just feel like there's like the way that you see this, like, like there's no division. There's just different colors, different shades, different processes and different accesses and different doorways. You learn this in traditional Chinese medicine, right? When you study like Asian body work and all this kind of stuff, and the meridians in the body and all this kind of stuff, and how they're connector points to certain kind of things and things like that, right? So and the flow of stream of energy that can flow through acupressure, acupuncture, and all this kind of stuff, right? And the fluidity of that, and how you can connect certain kind of things. I just feel like that's all connective, right? So like I just feel like if you could really understand that, right? Like how connected we all are, right? So what does it mean to like be human, right? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a part of collective consciousness, right? What is identity, right? What is group consciousness? What is religion? What is family? What is tribal consciousness? What is creator consciousness, right? All these different things. What are these things, right? So this is all tied into consciousness. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is awareness, right? And in itself, right? Awareness too could be in itself, like whatever the case may be, but it's going to be different for everybody. But as a human, right? And then what is human? Being human as a species, right? What does that mean to you, right? What does that mean to us? What does it mean being human as an individual, right? Because you have that too, right? Um so like how I'm sorry, hitting it itch. Right? So like how I'm like hearing it, right? It's like, so if you can understand all these energy fields that are intergalactic, that are connected, that are surrounding us, that it's just fluid, like it's just, and just your alertness to it, it's gonna be different for everybody, right? But like, so because these are like, all right, so many people in the spiritual community know, right, something as the Akashic records, right? But what is that, right? That's like an energy center, right? But you can also reference it like into like the morphic fields, right? Um, and 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 so what are these fields, right? The Akashic records, the Akashic field, the morphic fields, right? Um, but if you want to look at it from an intellectual standpoint, right, about what that is and all that kind of stuff, right, it's a stream of information, right? It's information, right? Because we want to try to make tangible. I want to help you with a visual. I want you to understand what it is that you're trying to understand, because if you could set a tangible reality of a vision inside your mind, then you can understand things a little bit more. I know I get real poetic when I speak and stuff like that, and you can slow down these YouTube videos. It doesn't have to be so fast. Understand that there's a speed button on here, okay? I speak very fast. I can't slow down the stream. I miss a lot of information even when I'm still trying to dish it out and give it out, because the human is slower than that which I compute, that which is like a computer, right? But either way, right? So it's like a stream of downloading information. But the morphic fields, the Akashic records, right? Because it's just like, so if you go off of Freud's theory of the explanation, right? Because we just need tangible things to be able to explain certain kind of things that are intangible in nature, right? To understand, and you break it down like alert consciousness, subconscious, unconsciousness, and all this kind of stuff, right? But now if you remove it, right, everything is homogeneous, right? No division, there's no division at all, right? If you look at it like that, everything's fluid, right? Then the morphic fields, right? And then we call it something, right? So this is the morphic fields, this is the Akashic records, right? But if we really want to look at it from an intellectual standpoint, we can look at it as, right, this is a place, a field where there's additional insights. Like if you wanted to have additional insights um, into origins of problems, behaviors, and disease, this is the place to go. You know what I mean, right? So that's the Akashic field, that's the morphic field, right? So just understand that from that kind of perspective, right? If there's a place to go for information, right, that exists, right, because all energy is connected, everything is all connected and all this kind of stuff, right? Because we have this human energy field too, right? um so And so the first layer of our human energy field is the etheric field. Okay, is the etheric field. And so what's a way that you can understand the etheric field? So you can look at it as a proximity sense, right? You look at it like a proximity sense. What does that mean? So that's like, you know how like when you get that feeling like when someone's looking at you, that's you touching base with your etheric field. That's the first layer. So just that's the first layer. I want you to understand that. That's just the first layer of the human energy field, proximity sense, right? So this you could also relate it to like acupuncture, acupressure, right? When you're sticking the needles with in acupuncture, right? You're sticking them into the etheric field, right? It's a right, because when you do acupuncture and you do acupressure, you're causing energy flow around you, right? Right, because you're tapping into the first layer, right? So you're creating an energy flow around you, into you, right? When you're going into certain points and stuff like that. So I do this. I don't do acupuncture because I'm not an acupuncturist. I have taken acupuncture when I was in school, and so I have learned about how to do it, and I have done acupuncture on other people as a student in school and stuff like that. But I'm not an acupuncturist, but I do acupressure. And so I do manipulate energy field meridians, stuff like that as a body work expert. But I just want to make that clear distinction because I'm not an acupuncturist. I do not do acupuncture, but I do acupressure. So I'm speaking from experience. I do this in my own practices, right? Even to my own bodies and stuff like that too. So um it's a method of contact and transfer, right? How you can just like simplify it and stuff like that. Hold on. Alrighty. So where was I? Um, oh, okay. Etheric fields, right? So just think about the etheric field is like when you touch, right? Touch, 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 right? Um, touches the entire electromagnetic field. But the method of contact and transfer is through your etheric field. I hope that makes sense. I don't know what else to say about that. But you hear me, baby? Um, so before I have to do my own little mini advert because that's what's up. Hold on one second. I look down and then I see this 9 of 1. Oh, he's choking the babies. Babies are choking each other. And I just think about that in this world, like of violence. There's a lot of stuff going on, but whatever the case may be, right? Either way, right? We're gonna work on the mastering of our own um electromagnetic fields, right? But by understanding it better, right? Not so you're on the track of who am I, but what are you too, so that if you can understand it from this perspective, right? Then you can have such a much more effective system, right? That works for you instead of working against you, right? So just understanding that, like, listen, when you touch, right? Everything that you touch, the method of contact and transfer is through your etheric field. So if you can understand it like that, that's good. Acupuncture is one good way to show how these things affect one another, right? So it's like hitting points. To the reason why you're hitting certain points in your body, right, with acupuncture and acupressure, is to shift your entire system, right? So, and because each of these points that you're pressing, right, have a correspondence to a certain organ and process in the body. And so that's the why you're doing it, that you're manipulating these energy points, centers to affect and shift your entire system, your electromagnetic field, because every single one connects to the other. So these points have certain correspondence to organs and processes in the body, right? And so because all human health depends on energy and energy flow, it's important to understand these simple functions about how certain kind of things go down, because if you do understand it, then you can better operate your system and not allow certain other processes from outside your system to come manipulate or tamper with yours too. Do you understand that? Okay. The better that you can better understand your system, let a mofo try. Right? It doesn't mean, right? Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But what is an energy field, right? Right? What is an energy field? What is an energy field? We are an energy field. We each are an energy field. We all are individual energy fields. What is a morphic field? It's an energy field. What is an akashic field? It is an energy field. What is a collective conscience? It is an energy field. What is, right? So what's the, like, see, what's the difference between all these fields though? What's the difference between all these fields that I'm saying, right? So I'm saying, like, our energy field. All of these are energy fields. Everything is an energy field. So what's the difference between this is that our human energy field, right, has a physicality to it. Let me repeat that. Our human energy field has a physicality to it. So let's work on being less violent to ourselves, to our environment, and to the people around us because of this generational brainwashing of survival of the fittest mode. And so everyone is out to get everyone because everyone thinks it has to be that way. And so we could just really begin to understand ourselves, understand, we will overstand and we will comprehend and we can move better. And when we know better, we do better. And that's just it. Right? So I like to do visuals. I'm big on fucking visuals. This is, I guess that's the artist in me. So all of this, what is this? Tarot cards and all this kind of, definitely check out my vlog. Or I said I was going to do an advert for myself and then I started talking again. So you can also follow me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. You can also follow my second YouTube channel, which is Enchantress the Babbler's Mystic at Mystic Muse Vlog. All the information is in the description box, right? You can also find me on TikTok at Alchemistic Poetess. And you definitely go check out my blog, my baby, at enchantingbabble.blogspot.com. In the description box, there is always going to be shared information. If you ever come on and there's no information there, go to the previous video, which will have it. Either way, there's a master link, and that master link is the master link of all links that links you and I in every single possible way. So even if we lose contact site or on a platform or whatever the case may be, if you have this master link, that master link will always lead you back to I. If you want to, you know what I mean? So so either way, so I like to right, because we need that. We need the tangible reality because that's how we can make it, because that's part of our conditioning. We, right, talking about our the difference is our human energy field has a physicality to it. So we have this reality to it. We have this 3D perceived reality to it that's tangible, right? Things that we can touch, feel, taste, like, like we're maneuvering around into this 3D perceived reality, right? Um, so what does so so this concept I had came up with when um my nephew was a baby. So he's like 13, 14 now. Okay. So um when we started, and my daughter was still in like public schools and stuff like that, and it was just helping them to understand, knowing, letting them express their gifts naturally, and then understanding that, and then helping them to protect themselves, right? So me and my sister would teach them about making a bubble. So what does it look like? So a human bubble. So if we were to really imagine ourselves, right, we are literally walking energy bubble. Okay. So look at it like that. So I used to have fun with my nephew and my daughter creating these bubbles, even though we have it, but we were working with them on creating their bubbles, right? And what does that look like? What can their bubbles do? And how do their bubbles protect them? What does their bubbles send out to other bubbles? Like, things like that. So I just think that if you can look at it like an energy bubble, I think that is a helpful tool for you to use in your own meditations, so that you can start thinking about your energy bubble and what that looks like. And if you start to intellectualize your energy bubble by understanding the spirit science behind it, then I think that's helpful too. And if you like that kind of stuff, then I don't see why you wouldn't be subscribed to my channel. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell, because this is the type of things we live to tell expressively. So I go deep, as you know, and I know I have a poetess soul, but I don't know how not to do it this way. This is my expression in every kind of way. I'm not kidding. When I was little, I wanted everything to be a musical. So I acted like life was a musical. You don't have a giggle like mine and not have ever thought that life wasn't a musical. That's utter bullshit. Believe me when I say life was a musical in every kind of way, and I come from the lowest of the lows of the crazy chaos world of not so greatness. Why would she have a musical with such depression, such violence, such chaos? But she did. All right. So what fucking color, what song is your fucking energy bubble? Let me know up in here, okay? But seriously. What did I do? Oh, okay. Right. So I like that, right? We look down magician best, right? So I like that. I like the whole energy bubble. I thought it was creative. It worked wonders, especially to protect like the sight, right? Our kids have gifts. Our kids are beautiful and all this kind of stuff. And the younger you work with them, and the younger that you allow them to embrace that which they see and all this kind of stuff, like, um grateful I am for being as open to spirituality as I am, to have allowed it for my daughter and for my nephew, when they were young and stuff. So it's interesting. So I like spirit science, um and in art and expression and all this kind of stuff, so definitely check out my vlog. You'll learn more about my own personal journey and all this kind of stuff, or whatever the case may be, and you'll get to see me more too. My crazies. But and it's just rawness, it's expression. It's the more and more that I continue to create these vlogs, the more and more up close and personal I get. Granted, there's going to be fun vlogs and little whimsical ones and all this kind of stuff, but there's a rawness to it and stuff like that, that is right. There's no causal barrier, right? Anyways, but let's get back into this, because I do have to go, and I'm looking at the time and I'm like, whoa, okay, right. So but here, so I like to go into the science, right? So I like spirit science into things, right? Because we need to make things tangible here, right? And that's part of what we're doing. We're in our death and rebirth process. We are serving our creative passions, right? We're serving our self-expression creatively. And so if we can create understanding to our tangible reality, what's really real, what's here, and all this kind of stuff, then we can better if walk around efficiently understanding that which we do. So I like to go to physics, right? And to all this kind of stuff. So there are numbers, energies, frequencies, vibrations associated with certain kind of things. So this is, I know I speak energy bubble, but the energy bubble, there's physics to it, there's science to it, right? So the human energy field does have an energy bubble, and in science, right? Um, the minimum of it extends out, our energy bubble extends out a minimum of 9 feet, right? Because there's a causal barrier. There's a limit to that which we can see. We're limited by our own consciousness. You understand that? It's not that we are limited, we're limitless, but our energy, our human energy bubble, to our human understanding, extends out to at least 9 feet. And I think about that number, 9, the number of completion, right? Mastery of completion, having to complete something. So if you think about it, right? And so, and the reason this is because there's a limit. We're limited by our own consciousness, right? So, but, even though we're limited by our consciousness, right? This doesn't include our abilities to project, right? This is Divine Essentials cards. I love her channel. She's great, right? Native narrative, right? Some of you might be storytellers. Some of you have a gift for storytelling in a way that gets people engaged to listen to certain kind of things. You might lead um you might be a motivational speaker, inspiration, a songwriter, singer, actor, actress, um, uh, some kind of coach, some kind of something, a psychologist, a doctor, somebody that uh, uh, um, you might be a narrator, a writer, whatever the case may be. Ancient wisdom runs in your blood, spirit breathes with your lungs, strength conceived from above, right? So yeah, skippy straight, 12th house, you might have Pisces in your chart, right? Neptunian energies, right? Dreamer, poetry, right? In your soul, I dream, you narrate too, right? So that be you. So okay, so this is in our include, right? Although our human energy bubble extends out to 9 feet, this does not include our ability to be projective, our ability to connect to other energy fields, right? So what are the morphic fields again? What are the Akashic records again, right? Information, right? Information. And never mind individual energy, human energy fields, right? So we each all have our individual human energy field. Let's draw this out. Right. So this is us, right? That's you. That's me, right? We each are a human energy field of our own. Shit. Shit. Welcome back. Hello. Hello. Thank you. I'm going to do another little mini intro because it is day 2. This has spilled onto a new day, another day from the other day that is not today, that was being recorded. That even so, I had to go. And so, I had to, before I went, I printed this out because I found that this was cool. We're going to talk about this too, right? Because it ties into whatever. But I made sure that before I hit the pause, like after I hit pause and stuff, I wrote down everything that was in my mind at that moment in time so that we didn't lose the morphic field, right? We were talking about morphic fields, akashic fields, right? This information field, our energy bubbles. And so we're going to continue to go down this route of understanding for our understanding, for our overstanding, right? Because that is how we are going to be healthily, wealthily, stealthily commanding our entire vessel and stuff. And yes, I use animation of like tarot divination and all this kind of stuff to art for my own articulation. That's my leveling of preference in being able to speak, even though I do spirit science and all this kind of stuff and psychology or whatever, all these different labels of how we do what we do. It's kind of like an infusion of it all. And so there's no leaning on more than one type of style. This is just my preference. If you're not into this type of stuff, whatever the case may be, then I don't know, go find something else that you're interested in and go entertain yourself in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But either way, this is for evolutionary reign, gain, success, abundance, prosperity, healthiness, wealthiness, stealthiness. This is about legacy wealth. This is about spiritual upkeep, wholesomeness. This is about your your humanoid, your human self having this human experience, but from a whole soul perspective. This is about the awakening of you, the throat chakra clearing too, right? And understanding your your energy, what you are, right? That's what we were talking about. It was like, it's not so much, right? So it is because it's an infusion of it all, right? Whom am I? And that is the journey, that is the quest, that is the spiritual awakening that you are at best, right? And it's just like, yes, I'm learning who I am. I know who I am. I'm relearning who I like, you're infusing that which resonates with you in so many different avenues. It's gonna be different for everyone too. So I'm not here to say what it's like for you, but it's just about the resonance of what is taking place, right? But understanding what are you, right? Okay, so yeah, we got the whom are you? I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. I'm evolutionary. That is fact, right? Don't tie me to this. Don't tie me to that, because tomorrow that might not be no longer in effect. So don't tie me to things when I'm an evolutionary being. And what that means as a sentient creature, I like the word creature, right? This is where I get, and this is where I can lose people. And they're like, oh, she had to say creature. Like, we're not creature, we're just like a human being. Like, we're humans, right? We're souls having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? Can she just speak that type of way instead of she has to talk like this and that? But I like her energy and her flow. But she just annoys me. It's just so like, why just can't you just say what it is? Because, darling, I could speak however the fudge I want. That's why. That's why. That's why. Right. So either way, right. We're not gonna get into that. But we're going to get back into this, right? That's that human experience, right? Where we have to sometimes separate ourselves from, right? So that we could get into the alignment of things, the mastery of things, right? So before I had hit pause and said I had to go, I knew I was going to draw something and stuff. And then I had to write all this down. And then this morning I woke up thinking about stuff. And so I printed this out and I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool, right? Because we like visuals here, because the reason we need visuals is because that's part of our conditioning. Our conditioning teaches us that we believe more so things when we see things. So until we see it, it's hard for us to believe it. That's our conditioning. So think about that. Like, that's societal, that's generational, that's conditioning, right? And so think about how that affects your decision making skills. Think about how that affects your behavioral patterns and stuff like that, your relationships, the way that you think, the way that you move, the way that you act, the way that you groove. So now you're getting into the layers of that too, understanding that from a conditioned perspective. Now I'm gonna detach from the personalization of that, understanding that this is generational, this is conditioning, this affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. I just I know that I articulate in the way that I do and stuff like that. And I just I I might overly repeat myself in certain kind of things and stuff like that. It's just because everything is so built on, like, if we think about things, right, from its depth, right? There's so many layers to so many layers, so many layers to so many layers. Like, no matter how in it we think we are, we're only just scratching the surface to anything that we are awakened to or conscious about. Like, even in our heightened levels of consciousness, intuitiveness, and psychicness, and just being so tapped into whatever you feel you're connecting with, it's just scratching the surface. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so wow. So because we're conditioned, right, to only really truly, no matter, this is why religion and certain kind of faiths are challenged, because of our conditioning. But if you look at it from its duality, from its reality, from when you shift the perspective, when you look at it from this consciousness, from this intellectualism, right? When you're able to say, hey, I see why I'm a little bit fucking confused over here with and challenged with faith, because I see that in my conditioning I am made to believe only that which I see, but in my religion I'm asked to have faith in that which is unseen. And so because reality is here before me and faith is just something that's just this intangible thing that I have to base it off of the unseen, we totally tend to sometimes in our behaviors lean towards the actions that are going to better support the tangible reality, which is, I don't see that. And so therefore I have doubt. Therefore I question. Therefore, I don't stand 10 toes deep down in something that I say that I don't know, because that requires me to have a little bit of faith in something that I really don't see. And most of my reality has proven to be that shit don't do nothing for me, something like that. Like, you know what I mean? And so I just like physics. I like physics psychics. I think that's just so funny. Like, when I think about the closeness and proximity of the name, like if you have like dyslexia or something like that, and you trip on some words or you trip on some numbers and all this kind of things like that, psychic and physics, pretty close, right? Like, which one, right? Like, you can be mixing it up anyways. But so yesterday I was talking about, I just want to recap, right, a little bit. Like, it was just talking about how our energy bubble extends out, right? A minimum, right? I had to look it up, like where they said it was like 9 feet, and I found that number to be pretty interesting, right? Because when you think about the number 9 and the number of the mastery, the completion that it is, right? But and you think about though, like, why only 9 feet, right? Like, think about that, right? Like, why does my energy bubble only extend out to 9 feet when infinite be the wave, right? Infinite is this wave, expansive in every kind of ways. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why 9 feet? But that's because we got that causal barrier, right? A limit that is limited by our own consciousness, right? Our own ability to expand, right? Seeing 9 feet out, right? It's like, hey, oh my goodness, right? So, but this doesn't include, I made sure to write that too, our ability to be projective, right? Or because of our ability to connect to other energy fields, right? So this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I want you to see this, right? I want you to see the connection. I want you to see, right, how it is, how, right, the connection, right, the surrender, the don't resist, the connection that's taking place. Got the Tower card, right? Like, oh, I'm pointing in the wrong direction again. But you see, the towers is like going down gracefully, right? So, right, we're limited by our own consciousness, right, but not our ability to project, right? So, um because of our projection though, right, the challenge is always the energy connection, right? And the connection, because we're conditioned to have our patterns seeking externally for that which can only be found within. So that's also another behavioral pattern and conditioning that has been pushed into your conditioning. So it's like something else to be aware of, to be cognitive, to be conscious about, to be clear about. And when it, and this could be exhausting, I understand, like, I've been in rooms with people where I'm talking about this, everybody want to know, everybody want to talk, but when I start talking about it, it's like it's like it's a lot. It's a lot when you don't have to. Not everybody has to be about these kind of things. But like, if you tapped and turned on, tuned in with me, like, some part of you is like, and so in order to be your most the mastery of your own completion, this number 9, this energy field at this time, is your own cognitive consciousness of these 9 feet then. So how aware are you of your energy bubble and how far it extends out, this 9 feet, and how it rubs up against every other motherfucking bubble and energy and stuff that it connects with, like subtly, like, I don't know how to say that word, but subtly, subtly. See it in my mind, but you know what I'm saying, like, whatever, right? So if we can see it, if we can visualize what it is that this all means, then this can be powerful meditative tools, powerful expansive tools for you to use in your own life when you're thinking about your leveling of information, when you're thinking about your leveling of intellectualism, when you're thinking about your leveling of connection, when you're thinking about your leveling of understanding your whole entire field of something, because each field has a different meaning, each field has a different layer, each field has to, and then this is, it's funny because these are fields within a body, right? But within these fields within the body, they have their own field within a body, which is interesting, right? Because that's, I just want you to understand that. Like, I don't even know if I explained that right. Like, so granted, so this is talking about the auric layer, right? And then we're talking about here how our energy bubble extends out. So, right, our energy bubble extends out, right? And then meanwhile, each thing connects to a different layer of something else. Like, each layer has a meaning of its own, but in that meaning of its own layer, it has layers and layers upon it of its own too. So that's what I mean when I said about no matter how conscious we can be, how aware we can be, how knowledgeable we could be, how intellectual we can be, like, we dumb, like, in this energy sphere, because we're only scratching the surface. Like I used to feel so offended and get real defensive when people like, oh, you think you're a know-it-all and stuff like that, because I talk about the stuff that interests me, that I'm passionate about, and I get into it because this is what I'm into. I like these kind of things. So when I speak passionately, and people have mistaken that and have tried to gaslight or try to like dull down my excitement for something and things like that. But let me tell you something, I don't know shit. I don't know shit unless I'm interested in it. And even when I'm interested in it, I still don't know shit. But I love to learn. I'm so fascinated by all the things that, and even sometimes, that'll be the funny thing too, right? Because I'll learn something and I think I know it, and then life lives and I'm taken because I'm like a Pac-Man, like Pac-Man. You ever play that game, Pac-Man? Oh my gosh, I used to play that game, right? Pac-Man, different levels, right? You eating all the stuff, like eating it all up, but like again, because you're eating, you're living, you're eating, you're living, you're experiencing, living, like we have to have these moments of this connection. This is where our consciousness comes in, right? We were talking about that yesterday too. Consciousness is our awareness, right? Consciousness is our awareness, in a way, if you want to look at it like that, like just simplifying certain kind of things, right? So our consciousness is our awareness. So now in your awareness of all these fields, all these energy layers, all these different like components of connection that connect, that you're just giving the surface on. They'll be like, oh no, not me. I know all my surfaces. I know all my surfaces. I'm like, okay. You know all your surfaces. Ay, ay, ay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to tell you? Okay, beautiful. Keep going. Like, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? So I tell you, we got a bunch of comedians here. But so because of our limited, due to our conditioning, or those are our limitations, that's just reality, and that's just what it is. Doesn't mean that we can't get past those limits, doesn't mean that we can't grow past that. Like, you crazy, everything is infinite, everything's expansive. But the more that we can grow in our really like our ability to just visualize, right? Because that's what's going to help us, right? That's what's going to help us to really understand, overstand. I'm big on that command, right? Get off myself. I'm sorry. I gotta get on myself. So boom. Okay, chicka chicka boom boom. Okay, chicka chicka boom boom. All right. What was I saying? So um that was funny. She came here to fuck shit up. Okay. Okay. She be playing with she be knocking down all the Egyptians. Like, she be playing with them too, trying to leave with them. I'm like, you got your own toys, but whatever. It's like the 100th time I've been picking up. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right. Right. So anyway, guards down. Guards up. Don't ever think, because that's what's up. Hey, but what was he saying? I don't even know anymore. Hey, you fall down, you get right the fuck back up. At your own pace, at your own speed. It's just like when you're transitioning, right? Like when you're doing yoga and you're transitioning, right? You're going from like downward dog, right, into upward dog, right? Downward dog into upward dog, or three-legged dog, or however you want to do your transition, right? However you want to transition that, whatever breath you need to take, however you inhale, you exhale as you transition from each position, right? That's up to you. Let that flow and let that breath be up to you, right? So stop it. So what was I saying? So sorry. Um like there's just so many different, stop it. She went over there and smacked baby. Baby was sleeping. It's okay, baby. Right? See, that's the thing too, right? So we're like these energy attacks that we could tap into, right? So just think about that, right? And think about your whole energy field. So what energy layer or field that you be resonating in within your own infrastructure is connecting to other energy spheres and bubbles of energies that's making you feel that type of way, type of thing. And then think about it too from that perspective of like, right, because energy slowed down in physics is information, right? So that's what we're doing. We're just slowing down all of this information, right? All of this energy, which is information, right? That's infinite in so many different ways, right? But ay. Right. So we're just slowing it down. Right. This is why I hope that you checked out my vlog. Right. She was interfering with protection because she really liked to be around, like, when we're doing stuff and whatever. She's very playful and stuff like that, right, Eden? So, and she likes the crystal, she likes the cards and all this kind of stuff. So, like, um, this is what we gotta deal with. So I had to bump up my vlog because she was like supposed to be vlog number 14. Okay. But she had to come from vlog number 14 to vlog number 5 because she got a mind of her own. So Eden, yeah. So anyways, right, so cool. So yeah, so what was he saying? Okay, so yeah, so because the Six of Pentacles, right, which is wound, blood, vengeance, right? That's what we're saying, right? So you could be tapping into fields too, like, I'm gonna pick up the message too and still talk about this kind of stuff because it has to be relatable where you can find the resonance so that you can understand it even more, and then also empower yourself by applying certain methodologies, visualizations, practices into your meditations, into your daily routines, into your life, right? Right? If you can start now visualizing yourself as this human bubble, this is what we're going to draw, right? We were talking about right, that we were talking about the 9, right? The minimum of 9 feet, right? So just look at the 9 feet, like, so, right? This is you, right? This is you, right? So you can go up to 9 feet, right? Uh, mm, 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 So I don't know how many that was. 5, 5 change, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So now, right, just looking at it like from this perspective, right? So you got these 9 energy, um your energy bubble extends out 9 feet, right? So these 9, right? So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, sorry, 9. right? It extends out 9, right? Right? But we have all of this too, right? Our first auric layer, right? Our second auric layer, our third auric layer, our fourth auric layer, our fifth auric layer, our sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, right? We got the physical plane, the astral plane, the spiritual plane. We have all these planes of energies of existence and stuff like that, right? So now, but think about this. So even though, yeah, right, we are one, right? We are also individual. So you have others too, whom just like you have their 9, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 8. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 9. Either way, right? N. Just a matter of imagery, right? And we interact with massive energy, everybody's individual energy bubble that we come into contact with, right? Right. And then we have so many spheres, so many different spheres. I think I drew something here too, right? We have so many different spheres, right? So it's like a 9-foot bubble of yourself, right? Also connecting to all these other bubbles, right? Connecting, unlock the element, like this fell to the ground. Unlock the element, ether, quintessence, omnipresent, all encompassing. I think we were talking about omnipotency in one of my videos. Watch all my videos, right? Qualities, ether or I can't say this, quintessence has no visible defining characteristics. Ether is both the spring wall of the other elements and the space in which they exist. Expressions. Quintessential describes the most potent defining characteristic. True spirit or essence of a concept. Oh my God, I love that, right? Essence of a concept, right? In the art magic method, ether may represent the truest spirit and characteristics residing in the mind, heart, and soul of the maker, right? Tools, the art, right? So media, all media is unlocking the element of your ether, your quintessence, your omnipresent, your omnipotency, right? All encompassing, right? All encompassing. So you're tapping in. So this is why, like, thank you for tapping in, tuning in with me. I appreciate it. And I hope that this is being really helpful for you, because I feel like this is so helpful, right? Like, just think about the connection to all things, right? Your print, right? The print, right? Trees, right? Think about this is right? We're trees, right? We're trees rooted. And if you look at we're trees. We go deep, right? And we're rooted, and our roots are all connected, right? Underground. If you were to rip the ground from where trees stand, you would see that all the roots are connected. They're helping, they're supporting one another. You cut down one tree, the roots are still tied, you touch everything else. You got that? Like, you know, so, and then also being so tapped in, turned on, tuned into your own sphere of 9 feet. And then also understanding your every single connection to all the layers that connect, right? Um that your celestial body, your etheric body, your etheric template, right? Your astral body, your mental body, your emotional body, your etheric body, right? Look at your 12th auric layer links with energy egg, right? Connects human and divine selves. See, let's go from the first, right? Let's start from the first. First auric layer, protection of life energy. Second auric layer, screens feelings and emotions. Third auric layer, filters ideas and beliefs. Fourth auric layer, attracts and repels relationships. Fifth auric layer, attracts, repels, and sends guidance. Sixth auric layer, opens to choices, enacts decisions. Seventh auric layer, connects with spirits and spirit broadcasts spiritual decisions. Eighth auric layer, broadcasts karma and absorbs powers. Ninth auric layer, connects with others based on soul issues. 10th auric layer, mirrors beliefs, serves as a second self. 11th auric layer, commandeers force. 12th, links with energy, connects human and divine selves, right? So, but we have all these different planes of existence too, right? All these different energy fields. And then also that which we connect with other energy bubbles and stuff like that, we're depending upon how aware, how connected you are to that which you have been connected to. So these are all these strippings that we're doing, right? Like making sense. Like just think about even your family connections, right? You might not talk to certain kind of family members anymore or be associated, but yet you're still so fucking tied, right? And so which layer of you is tied to the layer that is entangled, right? And these roots, right? These entanglements, these mirrors, these projections, these obsessions, these addictions, behaviors, patterns, right? So you're creating newness, and it's wise to visualize, understand how you can really unleash, how you really can evolve, right? To be it's so helpful to be able to see, wow, you know what, I didn't realize, like, so you know, you're in your energy bubble. That's what I was talking about yesterday with my nephew and my daughter, right? With this energy bubble when they were in school and stuff like that, and helping them to create what color is their energy bubble, what can their energy bubble, what superpowers does their energy bubble have, and all this kind of stuff, and making it fun, right? Like mine used to zap or freeze or slap people with fire, like, you know, but with love. Like it was always with something good. But you know, I'm a hot ass. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know what I mean? So like and again waves, like ocean waves of drown them with love. Like seriously, like who's that? Tsunami, shut the fuck up, right? That type of thing, right? So like, so unlocking your ether, right? Your omnipresence, right? Your expression, right? What is most potent and defining about your own characteristics, right? Um, what is your true spirit and essence, or are you in your true spirit and essence, or are you following some concept, right? So these are things that we have to dive into, explore, like finding out what's your meaning of these certain kind of things is, or is it part of conditioning, folklore, right? Like even things that we choose to believe, like, you know, this is participatory consciousness, right? So that will lend into like religion, that will lend into, and it doesn't mean it makes it wrong, like, oh, just because you can understand that all things and concept and stuff like that, and all things of where they're created, and how you could study like the history of religion or something like that too, and choose to participate with your consciousness, like participatory consciousness, and understand that although you may understand that, this story may not just be fully it, I choose to follow in this participatory consciousness of, let's say, Jesus or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all a matter of where you are in your evolution and what you choose to be for yourself. I remember when I was with Psycho, right? That's like, although I've had this quest, like, I grew up, my family was Catholic and stuff like that, and I had to abide by the Catholic standards of upbringing. So I had to go to Catholic school in terms of religion instructions and things like that. And I had to do, but my dad was very open, like liberal in the terms of, like, he allowed me to go to other church denominations. And so I've always had this quest for God and connection and all this kind of stuff. But it wasn't until, like, my connection with God, where it, like, connected, was when I visited this Christian church. And it wasn't until years later, this is after having my daughter, but this was also when I was in a very abusive relationship with a psychopath, right? And so in this church, I found refuge. And so it is with compassion, even though I'm not Christian, right? Well, I won't identify as Christian, but I'm very whimsically conservative in terms of my approach to certain kind of things. But out there, like, it's like I don't affiliate with any type of religion. I don't, like, and don't even try to push it up on me either. Like, okay. But that's when I found my connection and relationship with God, right? Because I felt it. I felt that Holy Spirit. I felt that thing that was missing for me, and whatever that is, right? Source. That's what I connect all things, that source energy, right? That source creator energy, right? Whatever the people want to call that, God and all this kind of stuff. I find God to be so masculine only in energy, and it brings us back to this earthly war of men, women, hierarchies and systems. And it's like the omnipresence is of no femininity, masculinity. It's not even human, and so I find God to be a label, you know what I mean? And that's why I can't, like, just in my intellectualism and just where I'm at in my own development and evolution, I can't rightfully say God without my intellectualism of it getting in the way. And so I had to then understand my connection with God to come to terms with what I resonate with that. And that's just source. And I feel so confident saying that. Source of the all, because that's the truth. Like, you know what I mean? And so that for me, and that I also can say universe in that, because for me, I'm whimsical. And so universe it is, right? Spirit it is, and these words resonate with me. And so, because I didn't find human fault by it, and stuff like that. And I guess when you're forced certain kind of things, like, you resist certain kind of things, so you have to come to terms with how you feel about certain kind of stuff. And just, I just think God is masculine in our human condition, and I don't think that's fair. I think it makes it human. And so that's just my opinion. You're free to believe and see as you desire it, and you're conditioned to see it as, but I stick by 10 toes deep down in that which I said, and God is just dog spelled backwards, you know? So, anyways, but I love the beauty of it for those that connect with God and have it in the godly sense of meaning. Then that's for you, that's great. But for me, it don't go that way. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's cup of tea, to speak certain kind of things. And I'm an etymologist whore. And because I love the study of words and things like that and their roots and stuff like that. I just I just can't. I can't. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So that was cool that that card fell down. So these morphic fields, let's get back into that, right? So these morphic fields of information, there's Akashic and all this kind of stuff. So you have your energy fields, right? You have your roots, your entanglements, right? Your projections, your mirrors, your obsessions, your addictions, your behaviors, your patterns. And you have all these different layers of existence that exist, whether you acknowledge them or not, that you're intermingling with and entangled with too, right? And different type of things that whether you're conscious of it or not, it's how it's going through. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was just, I thought this was helpful for you to see, right? The biohacking, right? Of being able to just visualize, right? So if you're able to visualize this for yourself in meditation, right, we can heal these kind of vibrations, which brings me, right, so we can remove too, right, can remove like some crystal healing, right, of the human body, agents, parasites, removal of parasites, agents, things that do not belong, as we travel through and remove and extract, right, cleansing the mind, body, heart, and soul, clearing every field, removal of any toxins, negativity, emotional trauma, right? Extracting that which does not serve in healthy, wealthy, stealthy ways, right? This is where you get to imagine with your mind's eye, right? The removal of all this kind of stuff and allow this crystal healing, right? To penetrate into your whole entire auric field and system, right? Removing that which it can, because it's in the position of authority to be able to sustain these type of acts, right? Crystal facts. Right? Everything is just being sucked into, right? Removed in because it could take it. Like a spaceship hovering, sucking it. Spitting it out and transmuting it into the nothingness that it belongs, right? Anywho. I need a little break. Progress. I just think it's helpful to be able to see certain kind of things, like, because the more that you're able to visualize, right, due to your conditioning, right, this is due to your conditioning. This is the way that you've been conditioned to learn things, to understand things, to process things, right? So if you can understand your roots, right? If you are ever interested in long distance Reiki, energy healing, diagnostics, and things like that, root entanglements, energy clearing, and stuff like that, those are the kind of services you can also book me for. All the information of how to connect with me is in the description box and stuff like that. This is other worldly type of work that I do. Okay. Body work. This is I include, I add this into body work as well. Body work, body art work. Energy healing, Reiki healing, whatever name you associate it with. Root work, things like that, or cleanse, biohacking your field, however you want to associate it with, and stuff like that. This is the type of stuff I do behind the scenes, right? So this is to help for your own visualization and how your energy bubble connects with other energy bubbles, right? And people and things and stuff like that too. And then we have to remember too that this is 9 feet of how we pulsate, right? But within ourselves too, right? Within the layers of ourselves too, we have our spiritual. So we have our spiritual, our mental, our emotional, our etheric, and our physical layers, body, energy, spheres. You get what I'm saying? So there's so many different things. So it's like when you are connecting with another, how conscious are you? And how conscious are you to the field of contact that's taking place? Because there's so many different layers. Which layer are you unlayering or layering into? Right? Because I wrote something down too. Right? So if you're not infused with your 9-foot bubble, right, then you are more susceptible, right? You're more subject to fall under other bubbles larger than you. That's massive for you to understand that, right? Yeah. So, so yeah. So I want us to understand these things better, right? And I hope that you really appreciate, right, the diving in, because everybody, like, I just hear it so loosely, like, you know, everybody wants to be spiritual but nobody got depth, and then people get annoyed or like, ah, she needs to get off her high horse, how dare she speak about me and my levelings and my devilings, because that's what it really is. Like, a lot of it is just fucking sociopathic, narcissistic type tendencies and stuff, which is empty, like emptiness, like emptiness. Everybody's just giving the surface, right? So for those that do tap in, turn on, tune in with me, I know that you have so much depth to you, because that's the only way that you could tolerate a channel like mine. That's the only fucking way. Is I know you're gonna be deep, and so I understand, right? So you know, and I just think that it's just helpful, right, to see, right, if you could just see. So, right, so we expand out by 9 feet, right, but hey, don't let that number stop you, right? Who am I to tell you that yours won't be more expansiveness, right? Right, but we're going spirit, science, physics into this, right? So minimum of 9 feet due to our own um causal barrier, right? This is our causal barrier, right? Right? This is our causal barrier, this sphere. Sorry, it's just I made myself this smoothie. If you're interested in certain kind of smoothies and things like that and recipes and stuff, which is 99 cents, you can subscribe to my Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. There's loads of DIY strategy, recipes, printables, and so much more over there, especially this recipe too. But because of one of the ingredients, it causes you to bring up any kind of like mucus or anything like that and stuff like that. So I keep having to clear out. And saying that made me think about this. We have to always constantly clear out. In this world, that's it. That's just the way it is, right? It's not that, oh, wow, that just sucks. It's unfair that this whole entire lifetime we got to spend clearing out, right? Because it can go bad if you don't, right? Like, it can go bad. You got to clear out these fields, right? These different fields, right? So you have, so I'm reading this, right? The 7 levels of the human aura, right? So this is just a depiction, right? This is, I'm not stamping it as a finality here, as factuality and all this kind of stuff. I'm sure there's more to this than even that we think we know. There's more to all of it. So you know what I'm saying? So let us just learn and grow and evolve the best that we can with what we have, making the best decisions with what we learn and all this kind of stuff, or whatever the case may be. Right. So we have the etheric template, right? The celestial body, right? The etheric template, the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric layer, right? And there's different levels, right? The 7 layers, the 7 levels, right? So in many cultures, spiritual evolved people were visualized with a golden sphere around their head. The halo that we see in religious paintings of all times and cultures represents enlightenment and complete harmony of their aura. The aura is the energy field around your body that goes along with our vital energy. What Hindus call prana is identically to mana, moonish, animal magnetism, ode, or ethereal energy. It is the life force that surrounds all beings. The aura itself exists of 7 layers that hold different kinds of information about our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. For those who can feel or even see the aura, this information can help to perceive and eventually balance disharmony within a person. Listen to the children, they tell us auric colors and fields all the time. These are sometimes a gift, and if you let them embrace it, you never have to lose it, right? It's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it. And then a lot of the times, like those that are awakening again, right? Again in their adulthood is going back to the space of time that once it existed before you didn't use it, you lost it. And so now it's like the rebirth, right? Of stuff, certain kind of things, right? So the etheric layer, right, is the first layer. It's about an inch wide and also called the aura of health. Since it absorbs the surrounding energy and leads it right into our body, it gives information about our physical health. Reading the etheric layer can cause a feeling either of pain or pleasure, depending on the physical condition of the person. It is associated with the root chakra. The emotional body, the second layer, relates to the sacral chakra and extends up to 8 inches. It gives information about emotions, feelings, and mood. In a state of emotional well-being, this layer appears bright and colorful. Negative feelings and blockades can cause the colors to fade and become dim and gray. Problems in this layer can also pass over to the first and third layer, right? Then you got the mental body. Associated with the solar plexus chakra, the mental body lies beyond the emotional body and contains our mental processes of the ego, such as thoughts, ideas, and attitudes. Basic instinct and personal power also have their source in this field. The third layer is mostly flooded with bright yellow colors. I want you to see the depiction of this picture, right? And where, like, you see where it points to, right? You get what I'm saying? All right. Right. So, so the mental body associated with the solar plexus chakra. The mental body lies beyond the emotional body and contains our mental processes of the ego, such as thoughts, ideas, and attitudes. Basic instinct and personal power also have their source in this field. The third layer is mostly flooded with bright yellow color. We said that. The astral body, the fourth layer of our aura, extends up to 1 foot and is related to the heart chakra. It is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world and the doorway to the astral realm. With a good spiritual health, you can find all colors of rainbow in this layer. The etheric template related to the throat chakra, the fifth layer, is seen as the blueprint of our physical body. It is the field in which illness, blockades, and negativity can be perceived and treated, and hence is the field that energy healers often work with. It stretches out up to 2 feet from the body. The celestial body, this layer extending up to 3 feet, is our connection to the spirit realm and connected to the third eye. Feelings of spiritual ecstasy, unconditional love, and group consciousness arise from the celestial body. Its colors are bright and pastel. The etheric template, extending up to 4 feet from our body. The etheric template is the last layer of our aura. It vibrates at the highest frequency and is therefore connected to the crown chakra. This field keeps all layers together, containing all information of the mental and spiritual field. It shines in a bright golden color and is our connection to the divine. Since aura layers and chakras intertwine, blockades and negative energies will always be visible in both. This means by harmonizing our chakras, we will simultaneously harmonize our aura layers as well. Right? So anyways, though, it's just a little, like, I don't mean to get all tutorial and all like teacher and all this kind of stuff. This is great information for us to have and for us to see and for us to use, especially, you know, in this world where it can be rough and tough out there. So if we can just understand, right, like just the personalization of just like even others, like to personalize such like energy attack, spiritual warfare from like other individuals, it would be like, damn, like which energy layer are you penetrating from within your energy field, right? Right, which is revelation for you, which is good. And then, and which energy layer of theirs are you penetrating that you're even accessing or projecting information upon, right? So it's deep, right? It's really, really deep about all this kind of stuff. I just, you know, I print stuff. Right. Anyways, I do teach kids and stuff like that. So I print out a lot of things and I also print out for the stuff that I ship out and things like that too. So I'm sorry. I just like to print things like too. So what else did I write here that I want to say? Right, I want to repeat this though. If you are not infused with your 9-foot bubble, right? If you're not infused with that, if you're not in tune with that, right? Then you're more susceptible to fall under the bubbles that are larger than you. You know what I mean? So think about that. So we talk about our 9-foot bubble. It's like starting you off at 9-foot space, but how can a bubble be larger than you? So learn how to expand, or did you learn how to get smaller? You understand? So which view are you going to see? Did they get bigger or did you just get smaller? Did they get bigger or did you get smaller? You know what I mean? And what's like even crazier is that we have this individual, right? This individual consciousness here, these entanglements, because we each interact with each other's bubbles, this, right? And then we have layers upon layers in this existence, right? Too, that are energy layers too, with layers in them too, like what is identity, right? What is group consciousness, right? What is religion, right? What is family? What is tribal consciousness? What is creator consciousness? Like, do you know what I mean? And so then, you know, and then if we keep subdividing and all this kind of stuff, then we go back to that Freudian kind of, you know, 3 layers kind of thing: alert consciousness, subconscious, unconscious. Like, there's just so many different layers and categories to all these kind of morphic fields of information, akashic records, right? These fields, right? When we touch, right? Our entire being is an electromagnetic field. So when we touch, right, the method of contact and transfer, right, is our etheric field. So I think this is important because when you touch me, I touch you. I'm touching you with my etheric field, right? That's deep. That's an information load, right? What are these morphic fields? What are these fields? Everything is, right? So physics is energy slowed down, right? I wrote it down too. Just like, now I feel like I thought I wrote it down. Okay, physics, right? I don't know. Anyways, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Right? We are the energy field, right? And we each have individual energy fields. And we're all in this morphic field, this energy field, this playground. And we are, yes, a collective consciousness, right? That's an energy in itself, right? But what's the difference between all those fields and us, right? The human energy field has a physicality to it, right? So this human bubble perspective is meant to be a visual for you to help you get better at mastering and understanding, overstanding your own individuality, right? And its connection to the all, right? I think that's important, right? And that's why we were talking about, like, you know, our own identity with Rumpelstiltskin too, right? We were talking about that. And what did it mean to be human and this identity that we cling to, right? And our stuff, right? I might be here. Maybe I wrote it. Yeah, I did write it, right? Because energy slowed down is it in physics is information, right? It's extra dimensional. It's information flows. It's trans-dimensional. It's energy flows. We connect to everything. All these fields have processes at different rates. So, right? Energy mastery, right? All these fields process at different rates, right? We are a currency, a frequency, a vibration, right? All this information is extra dimensional. It's info, it's flows, it's trans-dimensional, it's energy flows. We connect to everything. All these fields we connect in our own field, right? And all these fields have processes that are at different rates. And so there's just so much, and I know that this can feel like an overload. I know that this can feel like fudge, like what the fudge, like wow, that's a lot, especially if you're conscious to it. But woosah, breathe. It's really a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be stressful. It really is just fun. Like if you let go of the need to know and know that you're not gonna ever know anything or everything, and just have fun exploring that which interests you and where you find yourself percolating. And that should be the entanglement you want to be tied to, right? The one that is of desire for you, right? That you desire, that you inspire, that you motivate, that you invigorate, right? And so, you know, and it's just learning to really see things for what they are and really be like, yo, I don't even gotta mess with your bubble. Like, yo, I'm gonna take all 9 feet of me, which is greater than thee, and I'm just moving the fuck over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to penetrate your couple of layers. The couple of layers that I picked up intuitively stink. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? But either way, right? This greater thing, right? I circulate this 8th house, right? The death and rebirth, I circulate, right? In your own ethers, unlocking the element of ether to your own omnipotency, your own omnipresence, right? Your own omnipresence. I like that. And then, did I write anything else? Right? Oh yeah, when we touch upon other massive fields of information, all we do is touch upon them. That's important. When we touch upon other massive fields of information, all we do is touch upon them. But there are quantum loads of information filled into each load. We only touch upon things to see, right? The reason we touch upon things is to observe, right? To see if we could accept this thing, right? And then decide if we're going to be going into them, to go into it, to explore it, to consume it, whatever the case may be. It's like, it's the ability, right? Learning how to have that ability. I love that quote, right? The ability to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it as your own. Like, that's a powerful quote, right? The ability to be able to entertain different things without needing to say, oh, that's me too, me too, me too, me too, right? Like, it's like the ability to be able to go, like the way that I was allowed to visit other church denominations and all this kind of stuff, and the ability to entertain a thought, another religion, without needing to accept it as my own. You get what I'm saying? Like, um something like that, right? What we choose to touch upon, what we choose to explore, we dare you to explore some more, right? And you might have some energies too that want to come in and be like, no, 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 you can't do it this way. Or other energies that want to tie themselves to you. But if you can look at it from this intellectual, if you can intellectualize the experience instead of personalizing it from an emotional space, go to the emotional body, right? There's different layers of our bodies, the emotional bodies, right? The commander and force that we have, right? Second auric layer screens our feelings and our emotions, right? So traveling to these astral bodies, going, getting some healing work done, getting Reiki done, between session with that, or finding someone that you can, that you trust, that you want, or doing stuff that's going to exert the energies, going through the healing, right? Going through that dark night of the soul type feeling, right? Going through these different planes of existence, meeting with another healer, like, like something like that, like doing something about it. Like, don't cry about it, do something about it, right? Don't stay with it either, right? So these things that occur, which is really cool, because I hope this is helpful to you too. This is justice too, right? Justice too, because look at this star. Oh, I keep doing it the wrong way, right? So scandalous affair, justice out there, tales of terror and suspense, right? So you have success in that what you bring about, that what you want to do, right? So you're working on the dreams of you, right? The things that you are circulating, right? That you are percolating, right? That you are creating. And granted, there's going to be people that are going to be upset because look, it's justice here, and then look, at they're still trying to break down the door. Like, yo, 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 like, what's going on here, right? Because it's devil's playground, right? So it's the devil's playground, even though there's justice here, right? You could be life path number 1, life path number 5, life path number 6, life path number 8. Right? You'd have been born in 1987, 1971, 1985, 1986, 1988. You're going to be an Aquarius, Libra, Capricorn. Have that in your chart, right? Pisces too. Right? You're going to be born 1961. Be 26 years old. You're going to be born 1962. You're going to be born December 26th. 5 of Pentacles, right? So here we are, right? So some kind of trapping still. And it could be in the mental, right? Because that's what I'm hearing, right? In the mental sphere and the emotional sphere. So whatever emotion that you feel trapped in, that you feel like you were, it's just wrong, you got to put to death, right? Something too, right? Because it doesn't serve the path that you're on, right? So it's traveling to these layers of emotion, right? That might take, right? Look at here too, like you got the sun, right? You could have been born August 10th as well. You could be a Leo, have Leo in your chart as well, right? This spot is perfect. Finding the perfect, so this perfect balance that is going to present itself, that is presenting itself, right? That's what you think, right? So that's what you think. So other people might, it could have been more 1991. 1991 could be of significance to you. It could be life path number 7. You could be life path number 1, I said already. And life path number 9. Right? You could be 52 years old. 7, life path number 7, I said, right? Right? But I just feel like Someone could be like an editor, a publicist, or working with that too. Someone here could be a mail carrier, mailman, or something like that. Someone could be an editor for like a magazine, writer of some sort, or have affiliations with a magazine, or you could be coming out in a magazine or writing an article for a magazine, or you could be doing something like that or whatever and stuff like that. Yeah, someone can also be what is it? Like when you work funeral homes, like, stuff like that, things like that. Like you could be into stuff like that or whatever. A cartoonist as well. Somebody could be into games. You could someone here could have been born June 8th, June 17th, June 15th, December 15th to be your birthday, November 26th, or something like that. Whoever feels like trapped or like a puppet on a strings, or you're starting to see the connection to a lot of things, right? Since you're seeing the connection, we're talking about it from an evolutionary way, right? Um, it's like allowing things to be that which they are. There's decisions that you need to make, that's true, right, in the course of direction that you want to go for you, right? But here you are, right, passionate at best, a student to this life that you have to attest, right? And it's just like you're gonna do your best, right? But there's still certain kind of like combats and challenges and stuff that you face, and it's just like, okay, but for the first time in your life, you're getting out of your own way, like, and it's just like, okay, today is a new day. But it's just like, there's just certain kind of things that still take place. And it's just like, okay, right? Seven of Swords, right? Because this type of energies. But look at, you got the Seven of Swords coming out over here, but underneath it right here, which came out as a surprise, is that Six of Swords energy, which is you're gonna get a like it's not gonna touch you. It's like you're having victory. You're having, and also mental clarity, right? You're having a certain kind of emotional mental type of alchemy healing that's taking place to all this deception, to all this corruption, to all this deceit, to all this type of energy, to all this kind of envy, to all this type of haterade campaign that be going on out there, and all this kind of stuff, right? You have decisions, and it's been rough, it's been tough, but you're here, the star, right? So the star type of energy, having your wish fulfillment, doing that which you're set out to do. Like nothing's gonna stop you. You got the sun. Here comes the sun. Kaboom! Right? It's just like psh, what you thought this was. Right? It's victory. Something could be going down in August too, right? Something new opportunity, right? And stuff like that coming in, something thrilling, something exciting, right? Leading into August. I mean, leading from August to October, something too, some kind of traveling, right? Whatever the case may be. You could, yeah, something in August into October, right? That could be lucrative as well. Um, lucrative, lucrative, lucrative opportunities taking place, right? Lucrative, look at King of Pentacles, right? This could be to earth sign energy if you're dealing with another type of person, right? Or this can be you, right? Either way, the rise of your own status, your own pentacle as well, your kingship, your this earth signs, right? So it's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn type energy as well. But look at, this is growth in your pentacles, growth in your opportunity, growth in your connections too, right? Coming out like victorious, right? The sun, the star. Look at how this is lined up, right? Like I know I have it here all to the side, but it's Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, right? The Six of Swords, which is getting out of any type of troubling times, right? If you want to look at it from that kind of stuff, from that Seven of Swords type of activity, because on top of that is the star and the sun and the King of fucking Pentacles. Here on the sides, it's like new opportunities happening at this time. It's like, psh, rain on me. And when you know, and I'll be your friend. I hope you carry on, lean on me. Ooh, ooh, and do, 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 do. right? Love too, right? Here, love, like a union of right? So this could be a new relationship. This could be the progression of one. This could be the next step into. So this is like, like, I'm just saying, like, from friends to lovers to soulmates, to an engagement, to a wedding, to, something like that too, right? And it's just like, okay, right? The lover, Knight of Pentacles. So it took some time, right? Because you got the lovers here saying, okay, kiss, kiss. Here we are. He's like, I'm here, rise and shine. I'm finally arrived. So somebody can finally arrive, right? So it's like adventure time, right? So this is an adventurous time as you continue into your evolutionary, right? Healing, growth, right? And I know I'm mixing this all in and stuff like that, but this is the way that it wants to come out and be, like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's just so much going on energetically, and this is just, I love speaking about that which I'm passionate about. And these kind of things is things that I'm passionate about, is things that I do behind the scenes, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of opportunity, right? There's a lot of opportunity and you have so people might want to take that which you grow, but that there's something happening here, right? That's forming, right? That there's a truth happening that's going to be like, oh, like, so that's going to be put to death, right? And there's something that's going to come in and kill that which has been, like, right? So there's an annihilation of some sort of whatever has been at your throat, right? Down your back, right? It's just like, okay, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we're gonna continue the strength. Look at this. It's like annihilation, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you mean? Right? So there's nothing for you to worry about too, right? And all this stuff kind of meets. So look at, hold that report from space. I don't know, but I was seeing this right here. And I was thinking about, because it's the Seven of Cups, the strange world of Seven of Cups, and I was just thinking about the 7 layers, right? That we were just talking about. The 7 levels of the human aura, right? And I was just thinking about that in the cups department too. So there may have been different layers upon layers of activations that have been occurring for you in your own love sphere, in your own mental sphere, in your own soul sphere, in your own human condition, right? That now there's, like, this coming to this death, right? There's only one way from here up, right? When you're in that pit of 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 of, of trapping, of being attacked, of having the disadvantaged side, right? That's what it feels like. It's like I come into this world in this conditioned space disadvantaged because I don't know shit from shot, and I have no choice but to come into the family that I come into the space that I come into, and from this space I have to create this new kind of space, and it's just like all over the place, but I have to find my space in the world, and it's just like I have to hold on to everything that I got. But then this is what's up, right? This love, right, energy that comes through because of the working heart too that you have put under. And even though you have been under scrutiny, under watch, under attack, under, so many different kind of energies that just want to combat with you and all this kind of stuff and bring you into the layers of, like, what the fudge is, like, okay, what do we got here? Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but awakening certain kind of hidden layers of certain kind of things, and Dracula wants to come and suck your motherfucking blood. And it's just like, okay, like, what in the world, right? They want to take everything you got, but these completions of these cycles and all this kind of stuff is now you're here and you're just in this consciousness of a space as you continue to, like, expand your own command and vessel. It's a lot, right? It's a lot, like, but you're the star, and here comes the sun, right? And justice is here, right? Justice is here. So the devil's domain that may have had or makes people feel like they're on a puppet on some strings and all this kind of stuff, dictating certain kind of things, there's something newer happening. that's coming into the space, that's bringing this opportunity all over the place, and it's going to annihilate the devil's plan. Right? So there's nothing to worry about because the devil, his plan is annihilated, transmuted, transformed. Right? Whatever that was, whatever that is, whatever that is trying to be, right? It got nothing, right? Like nothing, right? Just keep a lot of like whatever you're waiting upon, right? It's coming. Like stay with that smile on your face, right? Stay with that smile on your face, right? Ace of Cups, come in. You're gonna get drunk. It's gonna be overflowing that which you receive in every kind of department. You know what I mean? Especially love department. You know what I mean? That might be too where you have envy about you is how people love you. Other people see how genuine you be and how others truly respond to you when you have that healthiness in your life. And it's like, wow, that person is really loved and respected by the people that are in their lives and the people that get to know and honor the value meal that they are in their lives without, you know, because you've probably come from where people have taken advantage, misused, abused, like have taken you for fucking granted and have overlooked you, have fucking disregarded you, have made you try to feel like shit, have ignored you and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, paying so much attention to you and all this kind of stuff, and it'll always be the nearest and dearest to you and all this kind of stuff. And now here you are, because you build a family that which you are, you working on the energy sphere that you are connecting with and choosing that which you are connecting with and all this kind of stuff. And now you're making the right kind of fucking connection. And so now all those like say like old family members, people in your life that once upon a time or maybe a part of your life that denied you, that lied, that deceived, or whatever the case may be, now they see that like everybody's drunk on your love. I'm burning up for your love. I'm burning up for your love, for your love. And people, how they burn up and get drunk on your love. And it's like, damn. And even that, when they first started to see that and stuff like that, like, oh, she got fans, or people, they don't even know, like hating on how people love you, how people respond to you, how like all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, yo, now you're clearing this field of yours that others have thrown garbage in. That's the way to look at it too. So go around each layer picking up the garbage. You got to pick that shit up, right? So we're going around every single layer and you're picking up all the garbage and you're clearing out your energy field. Because there should be no garbage in there. But yeah, look, I fucking proved it. Tapped in, turned on, tuned in. Say that. I'm tapped in, turned on, tuned in to the divine that resides within my hive at this time in full motherfucking alignment and alchemization. I dare motherfucker to try it. See, you know what I'm saying? Right? Six of Swords coming out of that shit, right? I love that. That's beautiful. Right? That is beautiful. Right, so what other messages do we have that are going to come out? Moonlight rituals, here we go. Right, Chiron, that wounded healer, suffering, these obstacles, past life pains and origin, right? The difficulty, the healing that, the clearing that, the lessons, the trauma, the hurt, and the sabotaging of the self that is being released, right? Learning through adversity, right? Right, you could be a Scorpio. You have Pisces in your chart, Sagittarius too. Right, it could be a Libra. Right. Scorpio in your chart as well. Right. Some of you are writers. You could be a Leo as well. Have Leo in your chart. Perspective, positioning. See, from a grander scale. And I hope that my videos help you to see things from these grander scales. I know they do, and it doesn't matter. You be a Gemini too, have that in your chart. Radiant times. Every moment has a purpose and a beauty of its own, yet you are about to see the light shine on the places that you have outgrown, right? So Syrian whales, right? Aesthetic and emotional cleansing and large waves of wisdom channeled through the light of infinite cosmic ocean, right? Pisces, like we said, you can have in your chart, nocturnal waves, sleepless dreams, and the seeds of thought, right? Start writing all these things down or reading that what you have been writing down. Like reading what you have been writing down, divine dream portal, astral realms are calling, time to take a journey. Moonlit minerals, nature's reflections, elements, and dimensions of sediment, which sparkle creating timeless expressions, right? Native, like writers up in here, right? Two, pride, royal control, writing something. You could be writing something, you could be speaking at something, a speaking engagement, you could be leading like ceremonial circles, things like that. A guide, a scribe, a poet, a singer, a songwriter, a rapper, an actor, monologuist. Is that a word? You know, like things like that. Whatever the case may be, you could be an earth sign as well, right? Right, you could be a fire sign, you can be Leo, right? So what else? Scorpio, right? Ninth house, Sagittarius, right? You can be Sagittarius. Jupiter sees everything. Sagittarius with Jupiter showing up again, right? Expansion, luck. You can expect this at this time. Wisdom, healing, influence, right? So we're healing, right? The expansiveness of our own. We're healing the expansion of our expansiveness, right? We have luck on our side, wisdom, right? Healing, influence, wealth, law, right? Higher education, right? International travel. I love that. 11th house energy, Aquarius up in here, networking our teams, right? Our own inventions, bringing them out into existence, right? And that also is in our behaviors, patterns, and conditioning, bringing out new ways of thinking, being, living, right? Our lifestyles shifted, right? Being shifted in the alchemy, right? Our neurons, their settings, right? I was reading about this new medical discovery, right? Like how, you know, our the different organs in our bodies and stuff like that, but how they found now that our heart has these I don't know the proper terminology and stuff like that, so please like don't quote me and stuff like that. You could do your own research and stuff like that. And literally, I just read it today, so it's not there, and I want to go back to it and stuff like that to really fully let it penetrate because it's so fascinating, right? But they found like these neurotransmitter, like the stuff that is in like neurology in our brain, right? Like the things that make certain kind of fire circuit and how these neurotransmitters and responses and how things synapse and these connections that are made in our with our neurons and our brainwave and all this kind of stuff, like where they submit and they have these lives all their own. Well, in our heart, they found that it has the same thing. So what this means, this is big here, and I know that I'm not doing it justice, but like that there's different aspects to our heart that we're like, so it's like our heart is like this living being. Like, is it just an organ and stuff like that? So like the people that have heart transplants and stuff like that all of a sudden like have like experiences or memories and stuff like that that are not theirs, right? But it's like from the previous person who had the heart and stuff like that. So that there's different like, so it's like they have a mind of their own, they have emotions of their own, like there's different um receptors and I don't know the proper terminology, like I said, but like in our heart space, like so that it carries memory, it carries funk, like so it that opened up even in a whole new expansive kind of way how we view the heart now as an organ, as a vessel that has its own mind, Do you understand that? Like, so, like, its own mind. And so how we create now, is like putting forth the articulation. That too is an invention. The articulation, this new articulation of new wave of information, that's invention. Because for the speakers and the beautiful souls that are here to articulate the new that has yet to be expressed, that has yet to be experienced, and all this kind of stuff, that's that's daunting. That's tasking on somebody's taxing. That's a lot of pressure too. That can be overwhelming to articulate something that has yet, like, how do I explain that which I don't understand myself, and you're trying to. So it's like, that's invention. But anyways, I thought that was really fascinating. So we'll probably talk about that more too, because I'm really into that. And as you can see with the kind of things that I talk about, and then mix tarot into it, like, it's not your conventional channel of like, okay, she just started talking about like spirit, science, physics, a little bit of like freaking what is it? I don't know what I'm saying anymore, because I got a little shy because I saw my reflection and I'm like, okay. But yeah, like, and then I go to tarot and I start talking like whatever, regular, or I don't know, but whatever. But yeah. What else do we have that we can say to those tap in, turn on in every kind of way before we go our own way? So for the next video that you will be seeing, I want you to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, because we're going to be continuing with our fairy tale adventures. And the next story up is, should I tell you guys? Should I tell you guys? Wait, because we already did Snow White, we did Little Red Riding Hood, and we did the last one, which was Rumpelstiltskin. So the next story up is, should I tell you? Da-da-da-da! Hansel and Gretel. All right. So if you are into that kind of storyline and you are interested in the retold version of Hansel and Gretel, and if you like the evolutionary experience of being read to, and and you enjoy that, come read along with me. This is the read along club, right? So for my expressionists out there, change the game. We're changing the game. Are you changing the game? Change is not only mandatory, it's thrilling. Shake it up, spice up stale or sluggish sphere of life, right? With the sluggish sphere of life, right? With an art spell designed to change the game. Movement leads to momentum. Now is the time to nimbly move past obstacles, banish negativity, turn dead ends into wide open roads, and create your own luck. Own your intention. I love that. Let's change the game, right? Own your intention, right? Let's own, oh, and then tune into your color, which is what we were kind of talking about, right? So here we go. Hold on, hold on. So hold on. And we got the ether one before, right? So change the game, own your intention, right? So crystallize your life and feel its potential tingling in your bones. Our intentions fuel our creative undertakings. If there's anything ever that you are interested in, and if I got it off of my Amazon shop, if I got it off of Amazon, go check out my Amazon shop. I share with you all things that I actually like, use, and have. And so it's like me going ahead and saying, hey, this is a thumbs up. If you were interested in this, you should definitely get it, because it's here, it's in the shop. I'm only sharing that which I like, love, and use. So there are things that I do get from there. There are things that I don't get from there, obviously. But if I do get it from there and I have it here, and you're like, oh, what deck is that? Oh, what tarot is that? Oh, what's this? Then definitely you would want to go check out my Amazon shop, because that is where it will be. And if there's anything there that's not there and you're interested in wanting to know, then commentary right? That is what communication is for us. So please do leave a comment and say, hey, what is that? Or what is this? And when is this? Or where is this? And whatever your question may be. And communication is a two-way street. Okay, thank you. Crystallize your why and feel its potential tingling in your bones. Also, did I tell you, go follow my second YouTube channel, which is Enchantress Developers, Mystic Muse Blog, right? So that's at Mystic Muse Blog. MYSTICMUSEV, like Victor, L like love, OG like George. All the information will be in the description box below anyways. And yeah, moving forward, and Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS, and my blog, Enchanting Babble, on Blogger, enchantingbabble.blogspot.com. Okay. And that'll be all. Let us continue. Crystallize your why and feel its potential tingling in your bones. Our intentions fuel our creative undertakings. What is the true purpose? Intentions need not be complicated to be explosively potent. Listen closely to decipher your desires. Visualize the most radiant outcome and use your intention as your guide. And I love the point that we have made about the intention of, like, when we're dealing with like spiritual warfare and things like that too, and just other type of energies outside of our own energy sphere, right? And bubble, right? Like with Rumpelstiltskin, that there was power in the name and stuff like that, but because she was using her quest, right, not for power but from love, that her 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 reason annihilated, right, transmuted the desire of greed and power that the Rumpelstiltskin had, right, which was manipulative, conniving, and trickster type energy, right? To, like, who would ever want to give their child away, right? And stuff like that. Like, what parent, what true mother, true father would ever want to do that, right? Period, right? So visualizing the most radiant, right? That was the only intention. So it was the whole point of that I was saying. Right, what is the true purpose? Intention need not be complicated to be explosive. You listen closely to decipher your desires. Visualize the most radiant outcome and use your intention. Again, I don't know where I was going with all of that, but anyways, we're just going to continue because I have to start wrapping it up. But tune into your color. Wield color like a rainbow mancer. Notice color and really their power to create electric art, vivifying spaces, and bolster your magical aims. Note how different shades and hues sing to you, and make note of these musings in your grimoire. Plunge into the realm of the rainbow and explore life in full color. I love that, right? So change the game, own your intention, tune into your color, right? I love that, right? So, because you're changing the game, right? You're owning your intention and you're going to tune into your color, right? I like that. All right, let's do that. Let's end that on here, right? Let's end that on here. Change the game, own your intention, tune into your color. Draw this out if you have to visualize, right? To help yourself to really get to understand your layering system, your whole electromagnetic field on a deeper level than just some, let's just say, auric field. Let us be tapped in, turned on, tuned in to everything that we are in every kind of way possible. Simplifying our lives by putting tangible visuals and things that are so hard to conceive, and helping ourselves to really get to know better our energy for understanding, overstanding in every kind of dope-tastic way. You know what I'm saying? Let's just, I'm gonna do a quick little animal. Because it was calling to me. Right? Let's do some animals. What did I do here? Lion though, right? Cheerfulness, pride, right? What other spirit animals want to come here and deliver their message? Deer, owl, vision, silence, right? Dog, friendship, loyalty, right? You can trust the friendships that you make at this time because you have the art of the alchemy of discernment. And if you don't feel that way about yourself at this time, understand that you're receiving this message, right? Right. With peacock, right? Beauty, completeness, because you're on your way there. So you can trust that that's soon to come for you too, right? I like that, right? Right. So bear, protection, you are protected, right? So have faith, right? In that, right? Nobility and leadership, right? As you are right going through this initiation of approval, so you in your sensitivity, but your inner world, right? This hedgehog here, right? The inner world, the curiosity that continues to grow, your raven energy, right? The magic, the destiny that is yours, this ren energy, the courage and humility that you have, right? To continue to explore that, which might be um scary, challenging too. You have hope and harmony here for you to swallow, right? So here we go, firefly, simplicity, childhood, right? Going into things from our imagination, right? Using our imagination, using the ability of our expression to teach us, right? To help us to see things that are beyond, our conceptualizations, right? Our intellectualizations, those kind of things, right? Golden eagle, right? Enlightenment and success. I love that for us, right? So here we are, tapping in, turning on to enlightenment and success as we should, right? Love that. Till next time. Thank you so much. Bye.